Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. So lovely to see you again. Now, if you haven't been here before, my name is Sharon and I talk through lots of different styles of arranging, some using foam, some using wire netting, and I'm a commercial florist who now spends a lot of my time teaching floristry. Today's container has been used before on the channel. If you follow the link in the cards, then you can pop back and look at that video. It's a more modern design that comes horizontally. I couldn't think what the word was then. It comes horizontally. Today I'm going to be using some garden grown digitalis or foxglove. They are massively fashionable at the moment, but you must remember they are highly toxic. Don't eat them because it will make you really ill, and make sure you wash your hands after you've used them and you don't eat at the same time as arranging flowers. My mechanics of choice today, I'm not quite sure why I'm waving a knife around, is floral foam. I know it's not for everybody, but for today's design, I think it's really going to suit the style. This is the full block. I've wedged it into my circular bowl, but this is going to be too high. There's far too much foam there for me to cover. So I'm going to take off maybe the top inch or so. It's probably better if I take it out and cut it so that we don't risk having any accidents. And then I will keep this little bit of foam just in case I can use it to wedge in another arrangement that I might be doing today. Now I have a combination today of some garden flowers and some commercially available flowers. This rose is called Buttercup and it is one of my absolute favourites, and I've used that quite a few times on the channel. I've got some poppy seed heads, so the poppy petals have fallen off, but I've still got a nice architectural shape to use. In contrast, we have some fluffy Astilbe. This one here is a Campanula. This is globosa. And the reason that I've gone, or one of the reasons that I've gone with this really lovely lilac-y colour, is because I tried to find something that connected with the colour on the inside of my foxgloves, and that was the nearest I had. I probably could have got away with a darker burgundy colour, but the lilac is going to work really well. And I've cut the larks. They're not larkspur. I've cut the foxgloves because the weather hasn't been particularly good over the last couple of days. They've been battered in the rain and the wind. And if I cut them back now, it will encourage hopefully some smaller shoots to come up. I'm quite confident I grew these myself. So I'm going to put the name of the seed. It was a seed from Thompson & Morgan. But before I put the name down, I want to check that they're definitely the ones I've grown. And then I'm going to take a look at the different sort of shapes. Now we can see with this one, it's got a really clear curve. And I think that's going to work nicely on the edge. So I'm almost creating a bit of a asymmetric crescent. It might not finish quite like I'm visualizing now because I've got some big rounded flowers, but look at that for a curve. Isn't that just amazing? I think it's probably going to work better in that position there. And I've started back in the foam. If we think of this as the front and this is the back, don't start here with your first placement of flowers. You need to get the weight evenly distributed. This one is the taller one. It doesn't have such a curve as this one. It's a bit more straight. So we're going to add that in on the opposite side. And my arrangement is quite tall, dipped down in the middle, and is heading off in this direction here. So I'm hoping to create more of a crescent shape, which you probably know is my favourite shape. But I just think that if you look at the flowers that you've got and you see that the shapes that they're forming, this one is naturally curved. So it really lends itself so well to this type of arrangement. If I try to straighten that up, it isn't going to work at all. Now my decision is going to be, do I have all of my foxgloves on one side or do I balance off the colour? So we have one here or we have one over here. I think it works better over here because of the shape of it. There's also a slight curve. So I'm going to add this in to almost copy the curve of the first flower. Now I do have some eucalyptus foliage. I don't know yet if I'm going to use it. I'm thinking I might do it all with fresh flowers and not add any greenery in at all. I might need some greenery at the back because I might want to cover that foam. And I probably could have done this foam free. I was just a bit worried that I didn't have the height in the flowers. So the foam gives me that extra couple of inches there on the side. So now we're going to add in, I think first of all, my straighter pieces of the poppy. And if you're not familiar with flowers that grow in the garden, this is from a beautiful poppy plant, and the seed heads will dry really nicely. So I'll dry some of these off. They're going to turn a nice sort of biscuity brown, and I can use them later on in the year. And I'm going to group a cluster of them together on one side. I'll go a bit shorter that way. I'm going to cluster them in a little group, just sort of tucked in here. I'm trying to do it facing you, and then I'm getting caught up in the foxglove. So nice grouping, and then we can echo that on the other side. Now I don't want to do it so it's matching it symmetrically. I either come lower or I come about 2/3 of the way down. I think I bring the two of them quite close together on the opposite side. So I'm not matching on either side. We're not symmetrical. We're not looking to balance this placement with this one over here. Flower arranging is more natural. We don't want to worry about those perfect placements. Now the biggest flower I have, or the two biggest flowers I have, are this Campanula globosa. They are just amazing. And then my rose. So what I'm going to do next, I only have 3 of these. So I want to fairly evenly distribute this colour. I have got more on backup if I need them. But I'm going to get this colour distributed before I put my roses in, because I've got a lot more of those. So nice one up high. One needs to come over here, and then one roughly in this position here. Again, I'm trying to do those internal triangles that you'll hear me talk about over and over and over again. I don't want those flowers matching. So we've got 2 there on the taller side, and then I'm going to bring 1 over onto the opposite, and these are just amazing. The colour on them is fantastic. Slightly darker in the centre, and if it's the first time that you've watched a video, then hang on to the end of the video, because you'll get to see close-ups of the individual flowers and the finished design. And then there's this little cut-off section that I didn't use, which I'm just going to add in at the back. So we've got an asymmetric design, taller on one side, shorter on the other, with a bit of a curve coming through the middle. And now I'm going to start adding in my lovely rose. This is definitely one of my favourites. And I'm going to work it in just in between where I put, what they called? This one? I've forgotten already. I've just worked it in between the 2 Campanula. I knew I'd get that. So one here, we've got an obvious gap there at the bottom, and that's where my remainder of my roses are going to come. And what I have to remember is on the top part, or what I call the outside of the arrangement, we need to use the smaller of the roses, and the bigger roses come towards the focal point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up one and reflex the petals back. Now you can only do this when a rose is 4 or 5 days old. If you try and do it when the rose is really fresh, you just tear the petals and create lots of creases and damage to the petal. And one of the reasons I like working with the buttercup is because we get that really lovely full effect like that. It's hard to do this with a supermarket rose, because the supermarket rose is more of a tulip shape. You need a nice round full head, and then this is going to give me that focal point and that interest there at the bottom, and the colour link with my base is really fantastic. I'm just going to slightly angle it upwards rather than facing forward so much. The angle didn't quite work for me as it was there. And I often sort of remind you, this one doesn't want to go where I want it to go. I often mention to you about arranging in triangles. And if we think about the lilac Campanula, there's a really obvious triangle there. And so is one between these roses here. So we're not looking for that perfect matching placement on either side. So to give me a bit of variation in shape, I'm going to leave one closed and not reflexed, and that can be placed in the middle of the arrangement. That helps to draw your eye backwards and it gives you that shape there in the middle. It defines my outline and the middle there of my arrangement. And then I've got one more to come on to the opposite side, and I think I'm going to have to find myself another rose because I think we need another one at the front. This one is going to come on that position there, just behind my digitalis or the foxglove. And that one at the front's really bothering me. It's too sort of formal. It might work better when I add in my Astilbe. It's one of those flowers that I'm going to keep fiddling with because I don't like the position that I placed it in. So I've reflexed myself another rose, and I don't want those headlights. We don't want those googly eyes. So this one is going to come lower down, slightly offset. And then I'm hoping that that bigger rose doesn't now look quite so obvious. I think because I only had one of them, it was standing out too much as a dominant flower and there was nothing to connect it on either side. And then I've got some really lovely Astilbe. This has come from the garden. It flowers in the garden for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm making the most of it now when it's available. And I'm going to really closely arrange the Astilbe in amongst the roses and the Campanula. There is a big fashion at the moment for these closely arranged flowers with no foliage at all. And that's hopefully what I'm going to achieve today. Just in each little gap, instead of putting foliage, I'm using up the Astilbe. And I've got one on the opposite side. And now we can just sort of sit back and assess how the arrangement has come together. Now what's really lovely about this is those big round roses at the front really echo the shape of my container, and that's called repetition. So I'm repeating the shape of my container and the design itself. And this sort of style, this fashion of arranging flowers really closely together is really good if you've got lots of flowers, but of course can be quite expensive if you've got to go out and buy lots of different varieties. And essentially what we're looking to do is to create an arrangement with lots of texture. So the Astilbe is quite fluffy, very feathery, and then the roses are almost sort of like satin or silk in their appearance. Just getting a little bit of the Astilbe in between to break up and give me a contrast in the texture. Now I have a small amount of the September flower or the Aster. I have removed all of the lower flowers because these are also about a week old. The colour link with my Campanula is just amazing. And even though the bottoms of the flowers had started to fade, the top of the flower is still looking really good. And if we think about colour, we've got a complementary colour harmony. So they're two colours that lay opposite one another on the colour wheel. So violet and yellow lay opposite one another. And my yellow is in the form of a cream colour, and it gives you that really sort of dynamic colour combination that you see opposite one another on the colour wheel. And it's also found naturally in those amazing digitalis at the back. Now I think that arrangement works really well as it is, but I've just run out to the garden. It's not something I normally do in the middle of filming, but I remembered that I had some sweet peas and the colour is just perfect alongside the foxglove. So we're going to work those into the design. I wouldn't normally cut flowers from the garden and put them straight into floral foam because they're not going to survive. But after I've taken a photograph of this arrangement, I can take it apart and put the sweet peas back into water. And if you're not sure about how to care and condition flowers, if you look below the video, you'll find a link to a downloadable PDF. You can download that to your laptop, to your phone, and you can use it as a guide to help you understand how to look after your flowers. In an ideal world, these would have been picked yesterday. They would have sat in water overnight before I used them in today's design. But for a video, I think I can let myself use them. So I'm following that curve, just bringing that really rich, sort of dark violet-y colour into the arrangement. It's going to give a really beautiful connection between the foxglove at the back. And if you're learning floral design and you're starting to enter flower club competitions, quite often it's the colour link between your flowers that earn you the extra points. And what's even nicer with this one is they smell beautiful. So it's a real treat for me for today. So I've taken a photograph of the design before I put the sweet peas in, and now that I've put the darker colour in, and you can let me know which one you prefer. I know those of you that like pastel colours are going to really enjoy that first arrangement, but those of you who like a bit more colour are going to really like it with the addition of the sweet peas. That one I'm going to move to the top. I think it was too low there on the side. And that also has a bit of a curve, so it's going to fit really nicely in there. And then all I need to do is cover in the back. I did have some eucalyptus to hand in case I wanted to add in a bit of extra greenery, but I'm not going to bother. I think it's going to spoil the overall look. And I'm just going to use at the back a couple of the large Fatshedera leaves at the back, just to cover the foam. I don't really want the leaves being seen from the front of the arrangement because it's going to spoil the overall theme. But they're going to tuck in really nicely. I think 3 altogether is going to be ample. And then I've got 2 small pieces of the Astilbe, which can just work into the back here to make sure that all that floral foam is completely covered. And we'll move this one over to make sure that edge is covered there. Now, in a perfect world, I think I would like to have had another one of the foxgloves here on this side, just to make this area a bit fuller. But I absolutely love that. The colours are so fantastic together. And if you've ever looked at a colour wheel and thought, how do I use violet and yellow together, then this is a really good example. You just want to think about how the colour yellow shows up in nature. Can you use it in a muted shade, or can you use it in a more vibrant, brighter yellow? And think about how many different forms the lilac appears. There's also a beautiful darker shade on the centre of my Campanula, which is a brilliant connection with my sweet peas. So I'm glad I thought to use those. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please do so. Hit that notification bell to be told every time I upload a new tutorial. Please comment in the box because it really does help other people find us, and it gives me an understanding of what you enjoy seeing here on the channel. So thanks for watching.